development of the country. One is A2I Innovation Fund, which provides, which is now called as the Challenge Fund, which helps the innovators in different sectors, but in this case, energy sector as well. Second is an Idea Fund, which again will be able to operate only if we have ideas. And how would ideas be harnessed? The DPI makes it possible to harness the ideas of young people, of startups, of innovators, of entrepreneurs. And third is the startup fund, which it provides the equity investment to the entrepreneurs. Now, all the three windows are very important windows. And I'm sure today, after we listen to Mr. Chaudhary, who is advisor to the Prime Minister on energy, we will also be able to develop a window for informal sector innovators, the grassroots innovators, who obviously do a lot of small innovations at the grassroots level for energy, but may not be as visible as the innovators from the formal sector. So without taking much time, I would like to now invite Aziza Sultana Mukti, Director Operations, Salt Share. They have done wonderful work. We have been uh, helping the UNDP Ag Lab network in 115 countries, 91 labs, and you will hear Gina Lucirelli, who is the coordinator, who is the leader of this network. And during that network, we discovered one of the innovation of Salt Share, where they have tried to make it possible for peer-to-peer exchange of energy, something that you may not have heard before, but we will like to hear today. Ajiza. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah,
Yeah,
please.
thank you and Assalamualaikum. Should I have the presentation here?
You want to slide?
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Yes. I have slide. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you.
yes.
And then again, thank you for describing us a little bit of social. But I'm here to describe ourselves as precise, and then because the time is limited. Uh, when I was going through the sheet in the morning, I was getting 5 principles of DPI. And then our innovations, I could connect with our innovations three. Number one is that leveraging the existing systems. Second one is that the leave no one behind. And then again, the very initial one, get anywhere, everything, anywhere. Because whatever we are talking about, the peer-to-peer grade, the soul shares, first innovations, I mean, when I was in 2017 in IRENA, I was saying confidently that there is no formula that every innovation have to be have from Silicon Valley. It might happen anywhere into the world, even in Bangladesh, Nepal, India, any corner of the world. So that was the innovation when I was confident and I was challenging entire in a team that you will live always you were promoting Europe and North America, but there are plenty of innovations across the globe where you might do not have that much focuses and then that much budget to promote them. So like that, I don't know how many of us knew that Bangladesh have installed 6 million solar system across Bangladesh. Rest of the world do not have 6 million. That was the first, a landmark establishment what we have done. And then that was the foundation to form the soul share, because maybe we heard the swarm electrification and then they implemented with the 6 million solar system. We build first peer-to-peer grid, we call it soul grid in Bangladesh. Then we right now we have 118 uh, 118 soul grids, active grids in Bangladesh. We have installed more. And the afterward, the Bangladesh have electrified right now. The is more than 98%. But still, our 118 soul grids is working as backup. The poor people doesn't have IPS. they are using the soul grade as IPS. But we have special two soul grades in the Rohingya camps. I mean, of course, that soul grade is the primary thing to them to get access to the energy. And we are on the process of two more installing into the Rohingya camps, because of course it's difficult to get all the permissions, all things. Uh, but here today you can see that right now we are not limited to it only in soul grid, because soul grid, peer-to-peer grid, that was our first establishment, first innovation. But it needs to be evolved time to time, because the technologies are changing, and then the country's priority is getting to change. That's why right now we have three product lines right now. One is micro mobility. We call it soul mobility, as our company name is Soul Share. So we want to keep soul in every product line. The second line is soul grid. It's not basically, it's our primary one. And then the third one is soul roof. In soul mobility, right now, of course, we have more than 100 lithium and smart lithium and batteries on the road. And then we have 3 MFIs partners, and then 2 international battery manufacturing partners ready for the scale up. And then soul roof, that is, of course, it's a commercial. It We can't say that this is mass innovation needed. But yes, it's a renewable sector. That's why it's in our product line. And the soul grid, if we say that what we have done here, I mean, we have selected a small community, and then we interconnected them, their solar home system with each other, as they can access their energy within the community. An interesting thing, as we are the platform provider, we didn't select the tariff, because they set the tariff. What should be the selling price, what should be the buying price. So this is a fantastic thing where community can generate, consume, and then share within themselves. And the second thing is that, I mean, uh, our here visionary leader, Tawfiq Elahi sir, is here. So we have needed a regulatory sandbox permission. Without Tawfiq Elahi sir's vision and then promise to the future innovation, it was not possible. What we have done, in our one soul grid in Mymensingh, we interconnected first soul grid, but now as it's interconnected, of course, they don't need, I mean, whole generation. Then it means their electricity, solar electricity, renewable electricity is going to waste. What we did, we interconnected those soul grid to the national grid. And then now those 20 farmers from the community, they are selling their solar home systems additional energy to the national grid. That pilot has been done, and then now we're waiting that, how we can scale it up across Bangladesh, because already we have 6 million distributed solar home systems. So it's made not only generation plus storage. And then the solution, the recent one solution to the, of soul mobility. What is the problem? Problem is that Bangladesh right now have more than 4 million three-wheelers. And then all the 4 million three-wheelers, these are run by lead-acid battery. Needless to say, I think everyone knows here that how much dangerous and then how much environment, this-friendly, these lead-acid batteries. Irrespective of those, those poor drivers, they are suffering with those lead acid batteries. Their hazardous health. No one basically monetize that hazardous issues. If we monetize that, that is huge. And then the second one is that the battery lifetime. And then if you see those drivers, when they are buying a vehicle with including batteries, of course they are taking loan from MFIs or some Shomitis, because they can't access finance from the bank, because this is formal one. So before paying back to the loan, they again need another loan to buy another set of batteries. It means their entire life is cycling within the loan, from back to Asha to Grameen Bank to other. Farmers are getting those batteries with a very small amount of repayment, and with a huge lifetime. It means the both parties will get win-win situation. But this is the financial thing. Can you imagine these 4 million vehicles? It means 4 million distributed storage. What is the huge potential? We know in Bangladesh, peak load is in the evening. In that, during that peak load, if we imagine that 4 million distributed storage, they can export their leftover juice into the battery to the national grid. How much it is? It's 25% of the peak load. Roughly, it's 4,000 megawatt. That's why we are in a process to implement virtual power plant. But of course, without regulatory sandbox permissions, and then without like Tawfiq Ilahi sirs, like that visionary leaderships, there that yes, we can pilot it, we can see it. Without it, it's not possible. So we are in the process of that, and then we are expecting that Tawfiq Ilahi will sir again will help us beyond his, a regulatory format in terms of that, as we can pilot it, and then rest of the world that can do it. What interesting thing in Australia and then now the North American countries, what they are thinking, oh, then they are investing on the storage in various corner of those countries. But in Bangladesh, it exists because 4 million solar systems are not centralized in any position. It's across Bangladesh. If you go to the last mile of the villages, if you go to the just city corporations outside of the areas, everywhere, it means 4 million distributed storage are in Bangladesh. What we can tap into it with our mainstream, because yes, we can invest on a new generation plant, new other thing, but again, the optimization of those plans, that is a big deal. So that's why if we focus on whatever we have, of course resources limited in Bangladesh, how we can use these existing resources in a very innovative way. I mean, leveraging, because maybe one driver, he just could drove his vehicle 3-4 hours today, but still he have 30-40% leftover juice in his battery. But in the evening, when country needs more the energy, at that time he can just sell his energy to the national grid. And what innovation then they needed, of course that vehicle will be plugging into the direct line, national line. But we can program it in such a way that before off-peak hour, that battery can't drag energy from the national grid. Instead, they have to have export into the national grid. That program, that innovation, that is our part. We can do that. Is our ready now. That programming, every take is ready. Now we need to get chance to pilot this to show the result within Bangladesh, which result can be repetitive by other countries, across the globe.
Wonderful. I must tell you, as an Indian, this is something we also need. That's the greatest tribute I can give you. That, Aziza, that what you have done. So, for example, I live in a society where we have solar panels. My consumption is much less. Somebody else has guest at home. There is a party, there is a marriage. They need much more power. If they buy from the grid, they will pay 7 taka per unit. I'm willing to sell him at 4 taka per unit. If I sell to the grid, I get 2 taka per unit. Please understand. I buy at 7 taka, I sell at 2 taka, but my neighbor is willing to give me 4 taka, so I get double the amount than what I was getting otherwise. This is the power of the idea that SoulShare has done. In a sense, if I can tell you, that it makes it possible for peer-to-peer lending of energy at a cost which is lesser than what the grid would charge. And at the same time, load on the grid goes down. For all those people who have marriages in the season, if they all use the power from the grid, the power trips sometimes and you all have blackout, at that time, because the demand is more than the supply. This system is also in creating homeostasis, is creating resilience in the power network. So what they have done is amazing work, and I must compliment you once again. And I think we should give a big hand to what SoulShare has done. It is indeed. We documented 359 innovations from 115 countries on energy, campaign, and this was one of the unique one that we found all over the world. So this is indeed very creditable. I really appreciate what you have done. Our next panelist is Muhammad Navid Saifullah Sahab. He is additional secretary in ICT, and I must say that the entire DPI that we are talking about, digital public infrastructure, he and his colleagues are the architect of that DPI. So I'm sure he was going to tell us more about how this DPI is contributing to various causes of innovation, including energy. Please.
Thank you so much for the question. First, I would like to welcome our audience, our learned audience who have been present in this session. Our honorable special guest is with us, honorable advisor to the Prime Minister on Energy and Mineral Resources. And so far, we had been enjoying a very insightful presentation from our keynote speaker today. Now I would say a few words. Since we have time constraints, I will shorten my speech regarding the questions. DPI, first I would like to say a little about what is DPI. DPI is it's a relatively new concept, but it has a major role to play in all the sectors which provides services to the public. Public service delivery, in fact, is the main focus of DPI. If properly designed and implemented, it can help attain all the national priorities and, of course, sustainable development goals. And we all know that ICT is a cross-cutting sector. So it is the help of ICT can be utilized in all the sectors, especially when it comes to the energy transformation. There are lots of scopes of ICT tools which can catalyze the energy transformations. We have in the ICT division, we have a startup Bangladesh Limited, which nurtures the startups, grooms them through seed money, and they try to innovate in different arenas. In the energy transformation sector, we have also some examples, glaring examples, such as Soulshare, we can say. Bhumijo is there, if you have heard the name of it. Then there is also one drink water using the ATM cards. It is also very innovative. So there are lots of startup companies which are working on the energy transformation with the help of ICT sector, ICT division. And we also have special innovation funds to serve them as an incentive so that the bright minds come up with innovative ideas. So there are lots of scope.
Wonderful.
Through the ICT sector, it is a tool, and DPI, it can be compared as a road, a physical network which connects people and provides public services and goods. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Before I invite our honored guest, energy advisor to the Prime Minister, I would like to mention that we are also going to hear a few from the audience who have done wonderful work, particularly one innovator who was financed under the A2I Innovation Fund, Challenge Fund, will share his story about how they have used the burnt oil and used that to generate diesel. So please, and many of you will get a chance to ask questions, including to Mr. Chaudhary. So I will request Mr. Toik Elahi Chaudhary sir to share his perceptions and vision of how he would like to take this platform forward.
Thank you, Dr. Gupta, and thank you, friends. I am not really very knowledgeable on this DPS, you say? DPI. These are new ideas, and for old guards like us, and the jargons are so intimidating. I was trying to read this paper. The jargons are also very intimidating. So, doesn't matter, you leave out the old guys so the youngster could leverage those ideas. I must congratulate Soulshare and Aziza for the wonderful job they have been doing, and they are trying to, new ideas also. The way they aggregate the small bits of power from peer to peer and then when it's good enough, then they give it to the grid. And I was there in one of their pilot projects when it was inaugurated. So I'm very impressed. And to be very honest, there are not many solskjaer in Bangladesh. So
In the world, sir.
so
There are many soldiers in the world.
so we should try to learn from them. And energy is an area where, I mean, I was talking to Mr. Gupta about how innovation can be, mapped and collated as he does. But energy is a very modern uh, input. So I don't think there will be many best practices or innovation in the field. So we have to promote them, promote independent ideas, creative ideas. We have set up a organization called Energy Power Research Council, and we have set up its motto I square E. I for innovation, I for incubation, and E for entrepreneurship. So it's a idea we would like to throw to younger people. They think of I would request like social. It's more not research I'm talking about, more about innovation. Say you can't afford open-ended research, so there must be some outcome, visible outcome, and then it should be will that, for example, Energy Power Research Council provides some seed money also to uh, incubation, and then we try to uh, do the commercialization. Like for example, in one case, energy being a very modern sector, a lot of innovations are going on everywhere. Like in the Bangladesh Engineering University of Technology, BUET, we provide a small fund for a lab where through open access system they are able to, and some sensors. It was actually not borrowed, it was from a lab in Washington by a Bangladeshi scientist, Professor Saifur Rahman. He was doing that. So we had this lab set up also in BUET, where, to give an example, you walk into this room, it's all dark. So you walk into this room, lights will start coming up. If there are more people, then there are more lights coming up. If it is summertime, depending on body heat and all, the air conditioning will respond. So, you minimize the energy needed, and then, you still have all comforts. So, but after that, I kind of ran into a dead end as to how to scale it up. So then, we decided that the building that the houses this Energy Power Research Council and other few public buildings, to try to scale it up there. So they are working on that. Problem with the innovations, if you can find even, scale up is the biggest. So you should, while you like Aziza said, they're already thinking of how to scale up, which means the society can benefit. For example, Professor Rezwan, I encourage him. Professor Rezwan is a retired professor. So one day I was saying, look, Professor, there's so much of sunshine out there. Why can't I cook with the sunshine? And I don't know how to get it inside the home. I want it inside. And human minds must be able to find some ways. So he was encouraged. And then he did a small innovation where in two houses in Jahangirnagar, where, he had a device, I don't know what it is, where he connected that device to grid, as well as they had solar roof. So they used to cook these houses. When there is and always when you have sunshine, it's coming and automatically grid is supporting the rest of it. If you're not doing any cooking, then you can send your dispatch it to the grid. And If you want to save, you can save in the form of heat. So it's simple innovation. I had taken some companies who are in business to see that how we can scale up. So I would request you that also encourage them when they do the innovation. They should also try to map how it can be scaled up. Yes. But in my life, I tried one small innovation, very interesting, but I could not scale it up. Like, few, to cut a long story short, few friends together, a small few scientists from MIT, we are trying to use uh, biodigester to generate electricity. Okay. So we picked up a village. First, we had to convince them why this, because we want the grid electricity. So we said it's going to take time. I was just retired 2003. So we continued. That was big job to have the community agree to this, because they thought they'll be left out. After that, we started biodigester is an easy concept, but then how to increase the efficiency. Okay. Then how to reduce iron and all this corrosive stuff from this. I'm not a scientist, so I just learned. Then how to use the external combustion engine so that you don't have much noise in the areas. Then to optimize, we had a small dryer so that it can dry also. This energy can be used for dryer. We wanted high value item which can. So the mushroom. Normally mushroom, if you have to grow, you have to put it the container, whatever it is, put to high temperature, 160 degree. Now you found out that the slurry is bacteria free. So we tried it in a science laboratory to try those whether they can grow mushroom in there, and the mushroom grew there. So that we bypassed this process of 160 degree temperature. And there were others also. We wanted a high value item to store, the small. So we found out stevia is a good item. So, so all these ideas we put together, but I had to, we could not scale it up. And somehow down the road, other things happened. I was put to jail, so I couldn't pursue. Then, others also couldn't pursue. And so it did not finally. We were thinking that if you can commercialize, then we'll have a counter, let's say. You come and say, I want 10 people, 5 people to eat. I need a biodigester and tell me where to get all this stuff. If I can sell it like let's say McDonald's, whole package. But anyway, I'm citing this that having done very interesting innovation, you run into dead end. So I would encourage ICT division not only to promote, give them some assistance and encourage them to see, because one who's doing the innovation, he can think how to scale it up, not others. And energy is an area where you can think of, sky is the limit, because it's undergoing changes. You're all young people, you can go and find out what's happening around the world, how to or even find out. I don't advise them to find out best practices, because in farming and all, there is centuries of wisdom is there. But in this, it is a modern sector. So the idea is really
Innovation mainly comes from the grassroots level in our country.
but this is a modern sector. So grassroots level people have not used this commercial energy, and very limited. I'm speculating there very limited innovation in terms of energy use. There are some, obviously, certainly there are some, but you're moving away those fuels. They are moving away from those. Like you can think of improving cook stoves and all, but I wanted Professor Rezwan to leapfrog this process. and move to electricity as a because I said, why should our mothers and sisters wait 30 years to find leapfrog this cooking business? They can, if that is the modern way of cooking, let's leapfrog it. So, but you should encourage the youngsters. You have some incubation fund.
Yes, we have innovation funds.
But also, I don't know whether you can call it scale up fund or something.
We also provide seed money to the startups so that they can do their innovative solutions through the ICT division.
But maybe there is a need for a Bangladesh Innovation Foundation, which will help look for solutions, which will not wait for solutions. Innovators will not have to come to the foundation. Foundation will have to go to the innovators and find them out and provide them hand-holding support. Because there are, in 80s, I remember, there used to be on the river bank battery charging stations. And the batteries used to be exchanged to the villages. People used to take batteries charging at the river bank and then go to their villages. So Bangladesh was transporting energy through water years ago, 3 decades ago. I'm talking about 85, 86. It was happening. Many of you might recall that. So there are grassroots level people who will find new ways of transporting energy when there were no grid in many of those villages, but battery was being transported.
So once you have some device, then they will find very interesting use. Like the soul share, there are idle solar panels. Those found ways of peer-to-peer grid and all. So this is more challenging. Like for example, nuclear reactor. It's not in our domain, but we have entered nuclear energy now. So what are the options? There are someone may go and tinker with smaller modular reactor or mini reactor. These are I'm throwing challenge to young minds, or maybe go and find out whether you can mine uranium ourselves. This is a place where sediments have come for thousands of years. There's a likelihood of uranium 235 to be here. If you can mine them, then we can have our own nuclear
Power station.
Fuel. Then we'll have fuel independence, because once you have this, the enrichment is not a big job. It's a very simple job. So I'm just citing ways that frontier ideas you can deal with, and then I look forward to these young people taking us forward. So don't depend on our ideas. You fall back behind. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. I'll come back to you if we have a few minutes. We would like to hear the innovator. Yes, please, go ahead. Introduce yourself and just mention yes.
In some kitchens around the world, cooking oil is routinely thrown away or even reused after food is made. For one Bangladeshi startup, that's not only money down the drain, but also unhealthy for the planet. Biotech Bangladesh is transforming used cooking oil from fast food chains into biodiesel at its facility in Dhaka.
This is the miniature version of what we do in the reactor.
The startup says it sends 20 tonnes of biodiesel to petrol pumps every month and hopes to scale rapidly to 150 tonnes per month in the next year, so the nation can drive into a greener future.
Sustainability is important for the whole nation, whole country, whole earth.
Please.
Wonderful. Big hand for Abdul Hamid. Wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
What a great idea.
So, as you understand that we are from Biotech Energy Limited. So, we are lucky that from the beginning we got the A2I Innovation Fund, because I'm lucky. Why I'm saying that, because my what did the A2I, that was our parents supposed to do, giving a grant fund or so. We are lucky in some areas that after getting the A2I Innovation Fund in 2017, then after the research that you like to, after research we come out the solution about the commercialization in 2019. So in 2019, we also lucky that we got some brands like restaurants, as we are looking for the restaurants like the Transcom Food, KFC, Pizza Hut and others chains. In that case, it was so easy to start. After that, actually from 2019 to till now, we already produced and supplied about more than 1000 ton clean energy to the the full station as well as the export. And we are our conversion is rate is 90% from the used cooking oil to biodiesel. And sir, better that biodiesel is 80% less carbon emission than the mineral diesel. And locally we are certified from the Bangladesh Nirapod Khadya Kortipurto, Bangladesh Food Safety Authority, and internationally we also certified in the ISCC, International Sustainability of Carbon Certification. With that things we also exporting to the European market also, because from our point of origin to the finished goods, all the traceability we maintain. So actually, as we are from the chemistry or all the things is, but A2I always support us in the tech side also. I
You are
lab,
also using blockchain.
yeah, we are using
to
the
mention
blockchain. Yes, we are using the blockchain end to end. Actually, you can trace. So like now, so for the improving the feed stock, we are not only now depending on the used cooking oil from the restaurants or the factories. We are also beyond UCO, we went to the food waste from the the feed in food factory processing industries and other things is. Beside that, we also went to the markets like fish cutting markets. Then we got the feed scalps and other things as those who have the fat content. We also extracting that and using this. And beside, in Bangladesh also the cashew nut industry is also growing right now. So we are got to find out another opportunity is that cashew nut shell liquid is another opportunity. So beside this, so now actually what we needed for as A2A is always helping us like this, they also given us opportunity to invite our those who are partners, those who are helping us, and they are also present here. Yeah. Mons- please, please, yeah, uh, yeah, yeah. So actually they are from the day one they are helping us. So now we need policy support. Actually funding you did, now we need policy support. Whenever we are going to sell to the BPC, then we need to compete with the existing fuel. Then the price actually better that there is nothing waste in Bangladesh. So we need to compete in the pricing of the collection of the waste also. So in that things, so I think you can contribute us in any policy supported, that will be only one needed for us.
In fact, all the carbon that you're saving should be converted into a price incentive.
Yes, sir.
Because if we want to be pollution free, the amount of lung infections that people have because of pollution and the amount of expenditure that each one of us makes on our health is directly contributed by saving of the carbon. So I think that saving of the carbon and the health advantage must convert into price incentive. And I'm sure sir will look into that issue. But this is a very valid case, sir, because all the pollution that is being caused by the diesel, conventional diesel, is being saved by almost 80% of that, as they showed, by using this biodiesel. So therefore there is a need for price advantage to that.
And small meat যেমন আমি জানি না কেউ এত ফুড ওয়েস্ট হয় আমাদের দেশে and globally
Yes, sir.
I'm told that যে ফুড ওয়েস্ট হয় এটা যদি মানুষকে দেওয়া যেত তাহলে কোনো there would not be a hungry guy.
Correct.
Now I just wonder how somebody could make use of this wasted food. আমাদের এখানে বিয়ে শাদী হ্যান ত্যান এই হোটেল টোটালে কত ফুড ফেলে দেয়, এটা কোনো মতে যদি মানুষকে দেওয়া যেত।
স্যার এই প্রসঙ্গে একটু বলতে চাই, I want to supplement. In Bogura, while I was serving there, there is one restaurant, Akboria Hotel. They used to provide this sort of foods after to avoid the wastage of foods. I think even now, presently they are also arranging this sort of system for the people, for the street urchins, so that they are not hungry. So this arrangement was there in Bogura several years ago. Thank you. No, not only hungry, but other people. Yes, sir. Sir.
developed countries waste so much of food. They talk big, but they waste so much of food. এটা কোনো কোনো জায়গায় চেষ্টা হচ্ছে আমরা যদি ভাবতে পারতাম যে ওই ফুডটাকে কিভাবে
Sir,
ওয়েস্ট ফুডটাকে কিভাবে কাজে লাগানো যায়
one startup can start this innovation.
এমনি ওরা বলবে বায়োডিগ্রেডেবল
Sir,
বায়োডিগ্রেডেবল
actually, sir, currently right now we are converting about 100 ton food waste to conversion the use. You know, food waste contains so many things. Is
To gas.
oil,
To
yes,
gas.
oil. There is some food waste also come to the goes to the animal feed also.
Correct.
So we also sell to the SA feed, and so that's actually we identified that. But our initiative is small. Now we are going to scale up all the things.
Actually, he would need support in many ways. If you look at the DPI contribution, large number of households may like to contribute their waste oil to the grid. So just like if we have a solar grid, we have to create a grid of the waste oil, and people can submit their bid that I want to give 1 liter, I want to give 5 liter, I want to give 10 liter, and there are a lot of jobs generated for pooling this waste oil from each household. Like a newspaper vendor who goes in the morning to give newspaper will collect back the waste oil from each household and then bring it to your company. Sir, so household waste of the oil, cooking oil, can also be collected, and a lot of jobs will be generated in the process. Waste, the newspaper vendor who goes to deliver newspaper will also collect this oil from each household, and how can he know who wants to give it? That is what the DPI can make it possible. People can submit
let me tell
their
you
bid.
lot of things look very smart on paper, but they won't go much far. It's waste Bangladesh. There are kids who go out and collect the waste.
Correct.
There are places where the waste gets sorted out. যেটা বললো, nothing is wasted.
Correct.
There can be optimal use of it. But then why should we look for our life that we'll remain poor and then we'll collect this and collect that, and we should use that knowledge.
That's right.
Our ordinary folks should know. We should not research assuming that poor people will remain poor. Please don't assume that. We don't want to remain poor to do research. We want to do this innovation to move forward, to give everyone a better life.
So waste oil, cooking oil from homes can also be collected. That's sort of point. Not only from the restaurant, but also from
they
the
are going to air fry. Air fry is coming in this. So তখন তো তোমাদের কমে যাবে, but you can try.
Sir, I would like to take 1 minute, sir.
Yeah,
Can
please
I?
go ahead.
Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you for joining with us, sir. Our honorable chief guest is planning to leave because he has another important issue, sir. Before you leave, I would like to take the opportunity to know, sir, to let you know we have guests here from sir বিদ্যুৎ বিভাগ থেকে আমাদের এখানে অডিয়েন্স এসেছে স্যার বিজ্ঞান ও প্রযুক্তি মন্ত্রণালয় থেকে আমাদের এখানে গেস্ট আছে স্যার আমাদের এখানে স্যার ইয়া থেকে আপনার তিতাস গ্যাস ট্রান্সমিশনস অ্যান্ড ডিস্ট্রিবিউশন কোম্পানি থেকেও আমাদের এখানে সদস্যরা এসেছেন খনিজ সম্পদ বিভাগ থেকে এসেছেন স্যার সেটা থেকে এসেছেন এনার্জি রেগুলেটরি কমিশন বাংলাদেশ অ্যাটমিক এনার্জি থেকে এসেছেন স্যার বা ডেস্কো থেকে আছেন বাংলাদেশ পেট্রোলিয়াম কর্পোরেশনস থেকে স্যার আমাদের এখানে উপস্থিত আছেন স্যার পরিবেশ অধিদপ্তর থেকে আছেন স্যার পেট্রো বাংলা থেকে আছেন স্যার আমাদের এখানে ডিপিডিসি থেকে সম্মানিত ইয়ারা আছেন স্যার সেই সাথে স্যার আমাদের এখানে গ্যাস ট্রান্সমিশন কোম্পানি লিমিটেড থেকেও স্যার আমাদের এখানে প্রতিনিধিত্ব করছেন স্যার তো এরকমভাবে স্যার আমরা প্রায় 22টা স্যার এনার্জি রিলেটেড যে সেক্টর আছেন সো উই হ্যাভ বিন ইনভাইটেড হাই অফিসিয়ালস ফ্রম দোজ ইয়ার স্যার
কেউ অফিসার নতুন আইডিয়া চিন্তা করতে চায় নতুন আইডিয়া চিন্তার যে গ্যাসের কথা বললাম আই হ্যাভ ওয়ান্ডার্ড গ্যাসের কে আসে এখানে গ্যাস কোম্পানির কেউ আছে আচ্ছা আই হ্যাড ওয়ান্ডার্ড দ্যাট যখন গ্যাসটা আসে লেটস সে 3000 psi তে ওটাকে নামাই দিয়ে তারপরে যায় সো দের ইজ সাম লস অফ এনার্জি দেয়ার সো ওটাকে যদি হার্নেস করা যেত ইউ গেট সাম পরে আমি চললাম কিছু কিছু জায়গায় ওটা করেছে এই যে স্টেপ ডাউন করতেছে ওইটাই এনার্জিটাকে হার্নেস করতে কিন্তু আমি এনার্জি ডিভিশনে মানে তোমার যে কোম্পানি টম্পানি কাউরে বলে এইটা এই যে আমাদের জেনারেশন কোম্পানি যেগুলো আছে গ্যাসের খুব একটা কাউকে ওইসব উৎসাহিত করতে পারে বললে না স্যার এটা করা যাবে সো আমি সবাই যারা আছে প্লিজ সবাই যদি আমরা একটা একটা স্পিরিট অফ এন্টারপ্রাইজ, স্পিরিট অফ ইনোভেশন, এইটাই বড় অ্যাটিটিউড না। এই যে আমি বলতেছিলাম আমি আজকে আসতেছি সকালে খেলে টেলে, তো দেখি দুটো বাচ্চা ছেলে একটা দড়ির মতো দুদিকে কি ধরে আছে। তা আমি থামলাম, বলি কি কি এটা কি করতে? বলে স্যার এর মধ্যে পানি দিব, পানি দিয়ে আমি ছাদের লেভেলটা দিই। আমি পুরো জিনিসটা বুঝতে পারি, বাট আমার ধারণা এয়ার বাবল হবে। তো সুতরাং ইফ রুফ ইজ যেভাবে চাওয়া হচ্ছে এভাবে যদি হয়, তাহলে দেয়ার উইল নট বি এনি এয়ার বাবল এরকম কিছু। এইটা রাস্তায় বসে সে চিন্তা করছে সলভিং এ প্রবলেম। আচ্ছা আমাকে প্লিজ এক্সকিউজ মি, হ্যাঁ আমি হয়তো আরো বসে গল্পই করতাম, আমাদের গল্প করাই সবচেয়ে ভালো দেন লেকচারিং ইচ আদার। আচ্ছা ধন্যবাদ, স্টে ওয়েল সেফ স্যার।
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
একটা প্যানেলের ছবি স্যার, একটা প্যানেলের ছবি স্যার, একটা প্যানেলের ছবি
বসে
আমাদের প্রোগ্রাম আরো কন্টিনিউ করবে আর কি প্লিজ স্যার। সামনে we still have our session left, so I would like to request all of you to stay for a couple of more minutes. Uh, uh, Sir, moderator, sir, would you like to give one more minute, please?
Yeah, I think if there are some questions or
No,
comments from
sir,
the audience.
I would like to introduce you before
it's
going
okay.
with the questions. It's my mistake basically. I'm extremely sorry because it was a back-to-back session, so I could not get the opportunity to introduce our moderator. Our moderator is Professor Anil Kumar Gupta. If you just go through the Google, then you will find lots more than I can basically speak out today. Mr. Anil Kumar Gupta, in a very small that we can understand, he's a grassroots innovation guru. He is from India. He is the founder of Honeybee Network, and also he has like 36 years of teaching experience in Indian Institute of Management in Ahmedabad. This the most encouraging is that in 2004 he was awarded for Padma Shri award from India, the highest award that India usually provides. And top last but not the least, he knows a lot more about Bangladesh even before my birth, even so I'm really proud to get Mr. Anil, Professor Anil Gupta sir within us. Sir, we have a couple of international audience here as well. We have audience from Mexico, from Bhutan, and mostly from entrepreneurs. They are involved with the energy sector, sir. So thank you, sir. So over to you, sir.
Thank you. I think we should use some time to get comments or questions from the audience so that they can be exchanged. Otherwise, it will become one-way street of learning, but we should have a two-way street of learning. Anybody would like to say something or make a comment on what has been said, or you want to add some issue, you want to share some outstanding innovation that we need to know about in the field of DPI for energy sector? Anybody wants to? Yeah, it's open for. Yeah, please go ahead. Please introduce yourself and then mention your comment.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Mohammad Ishtiaq Iqbal. I'm DGM Operations of Food Chain Asia Limited. We're operating 3 international brands: Manhattan Fish Market, Tony Roma's, and Second Cup Coffee. So
Keep it little away.
I would like to thank Hamid Bhai for inviting me here, and I would also like to thank him for coming up with a very life-changing, innovative idea. Because when we operate fast food restaurant, we use a lot of cooking oil, and to maintain the quality of that cooking oil, we need to change the oil frequently. But we had the issue to dispose the oil, cooking oil, and there was no certain instruction or proper guideline. And then they came up with this idea, and then Food Safety Authority allowed them to take the oil from us, and we are very grateful to them that they are taking the oil, and it is very easy for us now to operate. Thank you very much.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So nice. That is what DPI does eventually. It helps uncover such partners which otherwise would have remained unconnected. Anybody else, please? Yes.
Thank you, sir. This is Mukhtar Ahmed from ICT division. Actually, I want to supplement one of the points that actually Navis Sheffield sir raised. I am actually from Bogura. He mentioned that after 12 at night, there's a huge gathering of the beggars and the have-nots, And actually, they give the best food, plus they also cook fresh food for them. And this has been happening for 100 years.
Wow.
Every night, no break.
Wow.
That's one point. Another point, what sir says that in some of the hotels and Chinese restaurants and others, the foods that earlier that were wasted are now being smartly used. There's already a market in Mirpur 1, in Khilkhet, in Kochukhet, where people gather and buy beef, like beef 250 per kg, cooked beef, cooked fried rice, cooked things. And there's a market, and the middle class people are the regular customers there. So this is a very good instance that actually we are utilizing the West. And similarly, what you said, sir, that you know that when the cooked oil after 100-degree temperature, it becomes poisonous. It has all the triglyceride materials and very much harmful for health. But if we can continue, definitely he should be given some incentive.
Correct.
Because at the cost of the public health,
Correct.
This is happening. So I think this should be promoted at the highest level. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Good. Very good. Now we will record it in the proceedings of the session. Yeah, a colleague here wanted to say.
DPI can be a game changer
Exactly.
for these income group people.
Yes.
Through this.
Please.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Munawar Moin. I am from the private sector representing the Battery and the Solar Association. Thank you for the invitation in the first place. Very exciting session. And the 6 million that Solskjaer spoke about and that innovation is a very interesting part. Battery was a key factor to that
Correct.
success, because if you look at the back 90s, battery was one of the biggest failure to solar home systems globally. We actually took the technology from India, further incorporated in Bangladesh, modified it, and gave the 5-year warranty that was required, which was not existing in the world at that time.
Correct.
And
Right.
rest I say is history. And 6 million homes, Bangladesh is the largest rollout, and we see so many other benefits coming out of it. My little bit input, joto olpo dite pari. I'm also still trying to understand digital public infrastructure for energy transformation. But when we look at innovation, a lot of it is very product centric, and the energy in our Bangladesh context is very production based. Is it through solar? Is it through nuclear? Is it through HFO or gas, whatever it is? On one hand, these are important, but I think for the digital infrastructure and the digital technology, as you rightly put at the beginning, that if the mass cannot take benefit out of it, then you won't see the real out of it. So focus on application and consumer usage. If the ministry and A2I can come up with a platform or a process which helps at the very upozela level, at the very village level, to be able to identify applications and consumer usage which will be driven by the energy transformation, right? So you have biogas, you have waste to energy, you have solar, you have everything. So many different ways. But the question is it being used for community purpose? Is it being used for agriculture purpose? Is it being used for production, health services? What is it going to benefit? So the benefit, if we can help the innovators to connect to the benefits, which will uplift the mass, I think it will be transformational in terms of using the digital technology or platform which will drive. And also we should not forget the digital public infrastructure is heavily also backed by brick and mortar. We forget. If you look at e-commerce, if you look at whatever,
All
the
the
data
logis-
centers,
the
the
logistics.
warehouses, the logistics,
Right.
it is a massive brick and mortar. And that's where the question of scalability comes in. So the scalability is also about marriage of people with digital technology knowledge, people with the brick and mortar knowledge of going out there to the last mile and be able to scale. So we really appreciate this initiative, and that would be the aim.
In fact, I would request, particularly the younger people here, if you have an idea which you want to pitch to the Secretary ICT,
Additional
Additional Secretary ICT, and the other A2I team members, this is the time. Just half a minute. Your idea in half a minute. Later on, you can meet the team members outside the session and they will try to provide you support. But if you have an idea, burning idea, you can't hold it on for more longer, just share it now. Any idea of application? That's a very good point that you mentioned. How can DPI become more efficient, more effective, more accessible to you? Just please, anybody.
So before that, can I just supplement
Ah.
this? It was a very valid question and suggestions. Yes, we have started doing some. A2I has got a glaring example. You have already heard about the digital, the union digital centers, which are at the grassroots level, at the union level. There, all the citizens can get all sorts of services, digital services. So this is one of the examples of DPI, how to connect with the people. But although there are three key components here, but we would like to add two more from the ICT sector. One is with the accessibility layer, and other one is service. Because service is the main focus, which I have told earlier. We do everything for the public service delivery. So how much we can improve, how we can optimize the public service delivery through DPI is the main focus of today's session. Thank you so much. If you have got any ideas,
Please, go ahead.
Sir, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Anil Kumar sir, for sharing your so many things we just got to learn. Basically, sir, I work for in largest QSR in Bangladesh, restaurant business, KFC and Pizza Hut. As well, we have PepsiCo, we have print media, and we have one of the largest pharmaceutical like SKF. So connect. Just I want to add sir's space. Connect with people. The thing is, actually, in my experience, just I have connected with A2I. That was 2018, I think, end of 18. Just in my office, just I have seen a guy that he's almost 3 to 4 days. He's just standing. He's just sitting in my reception. So I told my receptionist, who is the guy, and then my receptionist told me he wants to meet with you. So I told him, why don't you tell me that this gentleman came 2-3 days, but he didn't tell me. So then I just connect with the guy, Mr. Hamid. So I don't. We are having that sort of problem with the used cooking oil in the local government, in the city corporation, in the Department of Environment. Bhokta Adhikar, we have consumer right protection. That is another. I think I told that director he has to come over here. I think he might have some job in the secretariat. So then we don't have any traceability that we have started our KFCs like 2006 till 2018. We don't have that traceability that people are coming over here. Told me that, sir, I'm having some ink company or soap company who are taking your UCO, that is used cooking oil, and we are reproducing this thing and all. So that guy Hamid, and then then next day, just I remind that I just remember that I called that I got to this guy Tofik Bhai. So I know him, just in his student life. There's some of people that they are, came at my store. That time I was the restaurant general manager. But chatting, having pizza, and that all. Then they are the student at in ISU North South University that time. So I I have connected with him and their concept, and I have placed my management. And just my legal team, they are not taking the that granted on all. Then I have pressurized him, and then they do this.
But imagine if you keep a box
Yeah.
in all your outlets. How many outlets you have?
Sir, right now we have just KFC and Pizza Hut, 56 outlets. So another four is coming in this.
So I would suggest,
Sir.
and I will request everybody who has public outlets of any function
Sir.
in Bangladesh, if you keep a box of green Bangladesh ideas,
Right.
make Bangladesh green ideas, put your idea there, and then give it to Tawfiq.
Right, sir.
His
Right,
job
sir,
is
yeah.
his job is
Yeah.
to collect all those ideas from
And-
all these outlets. So you see,
Then-
you will have thousands of
sir-
ideas of young people who are coming to eat pizza or whatever
Right.
else they may
Right,
do,
sir.
but they must contribute and one idea at
Yeah.
least to make this country
Right.
green.
And
And
we
not,
have
not all ideas will be
Right, sir.
feasible.
Right,
But
sir.
let me tell you one thing
Sir.
from my experience of 40 years in innovation. Feasibility should not become enemy of desirability.
Right.
What was not feasible yesterday
Right.
becomes feasible today.
Right, sir.
Correct? So therefore, don't throw away those ideas which seem outlandish at the moment. Keep them in the database. Someday there will be a solution available which will
sir.
make them workable. So please don't throw away weird ideas. Many of the ideas which we are using today were weird. The mouse was discovered 15 years before Windows 93 came. That's called long nose of innovation. Ideas came much before the time they were used. If they had thrown away, we would have to reinvent those ideas, you see. So therefore, please keep a box. Will you do that?
Right, sir.
Will you do that?
Yeah, we
I'm
do.
taking a
Yeah,
commitment
yeah.
from you because this is something that we
Right,
should
sir.
all do. We should all have a box
Sure.
of ideas, innovative ideas
Yeah.
box in every outlet. And you should also get all your consumers and suppliers, auto rickshaw drivers. Let them all be your convey or collectors or the scout of innovations. They can. How many you said? How many auto rickshaw drivers you have using your system?
4 million in all over Bangladesh.
All over Bangladesh.
But imagine if smart ones, but even 4 million, if they become your eyes and ears for innovations, you will be able to make a map of innovations for Bangladesh in before anybody can imagine, and at a cost nobody
And-
can imagine.
Just I want to add, SARS, additional thing to SARS here. Just connecting with people that I have connected, the entire industry with Tofik Bhai and Hamid. Yeah. Entire industry as well as sir, then food safety authority we have, and another another was Department of Environment.
Wonderful, wonderful. God bless you,
Thank
and
you, sir.
keep helping young people
Yeah,
like Hamid.
definitely, sir.
Keep helping young
This is
people
our,
like
resource.
that is
They
that
are
is
our-
because he may not be able to open as
Right.
many doors, but your
Yeah.
telephone, one telephone can open 10 doors for him.
Thank
So
you,
that's
sir.
wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you. Wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
Any other idea before we close? Yes, please go ahead. Give him the mic, please.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm Inamul Hafiz Latifi, Trade and Policy Development Economist, currently working as Research Fellow with Bangladesh Association of Software and Information Services, BASIS. So it was very interesting for me to learn the green energy transformation today through you all, and thanks to you all. While I was listening to you, and especially the example of biotech, so an idea was popping up in my mind that possibly for a single company, it would not be possible to reach out all over the country, right?
Correct.
So if we try to take it as an example and try to inspire all the green transformation, energy transformation companies to emerge as a sector by incentivizing them, let's say Bangladesh government provides cash incentives to some sectors. So if we try to form some grant fund and to distribute that, and also try to form some R&D fund and try to give away that to them, the emerging sector players, and also if we in addition if we for example give them some KPIs to meet in every year, that if they transform a amount of food waste to biodiesel, then we will be giving some sorts of cash incentive to them. So that will actually helpful and assist them to emerge as a sector, because for a single company it will not be possible to
You have a very
do so.
good point.
Thank you.
And what could be done is not that everybody needs to rediscover the wheel. The technology that they have, it has taken them a lot of effort to hit and trial and to improve the process. Now they have perfected the process. 90% conversion rate, 80% less carbon. Now with this process, lot of other entrepreneurs. So instead of having Hamid, you becoming single pioneer innovator all over the country, which is a good point he made. Let us have a distributed network entrepreneurship, and they will pay you a small fees maybe for getting the technology once. Then let them become an entrepreneur. Don't think them take them as a competitor. They are part of a network. You will get big orders in future from Europe, and they will all supply to you. So you will become then buyer of their product, but you need people to process it. So I think it's a good idea that DPI can also create a platform for network entrepreneurship where large number of distributed entrepreneurs will take the help of pioneer entrepreneur. Pioneer entrepreneur is the one who has developed and perfected the process, and you should feel free and open to encourage more and more such entrepreneurs come up in different parts of Bangladesh. That's a very good idea. Very good idea. Thank you so much. Do we have? Yes, please go ahead.
Bengali for
Sure,
better
go ahead.
expression,
আমি বুঝতে পারে বলতে পারে না।
ওকে মানে আমি যখন যেহেতু আমাদের আজকের ইস্যুটা হচ্ছে ডিজিটাল পাবলিক ইনফ্রাস্ট্রাকচার, when we talk about digital public infrastructure, it is more related with the distribution and consumption of energy rather production, because people don't মানে এটা কিভাবে এনার্জিটা জেনারেট হলো ওইটার চাইতে বরঞ্চ কনসার্ন স্মুথ ডিস্ট্রিবিউশন এবং কনজাম্পশনটা নিয়ে। তো আমাদের এখানে যেহেতু অনেকগুলো সরকারি প্রতিষ্ঠানের প্রতিনিধিত্ব আছে, আমি যে জিনিসটা বলতে যাচ্ছি, আমাদের এই ডিজিটাল পাবলিক ইনফ্রাস্ট্রাকচার কিন্তু আমাদের এনার্জি ডিস্ট্রিবিউশন এবং কনজাম্পশনে একটা ভালো ভূমিকা রাখতে পারে। যেমন আমি ডেস্কোর একজন গ্রাহক, ঢাকা ইলেকট্রিক সাপ্লাই কোম্পানির একজন গ্রাহক। গত 2-3 বছর ধরে আমি কোনো মানে আমি সিমলেস পেমেন্ট সুযোগ আমার জন্য তৈরি হয়েছে। আমি কিন্তু কোনো নগদ আই ডোন্ট পে ইন ক্যাশ, আই পে অনলাইন। Recently they have created they have introduced an apps uh, from which I can analyze গতকালকে আমি কত টাকার বিদ্যুৎ খরচ করেছি, গত মাসের এই দিনে কত করেছি, গত বছরের এই মাসে কত করেছি। তো সেই স্ট্যাটিস্টিক্স আমাকে যেটা করে আমি দেখেছি বিদ্যুতের কনজাম্পশন কমাইতে কিন্তু আমাকে ইনস্টিগেট করে। কারণ আমি যখন দেখি যে না গত পরশুদিন আমার 40 টাকা বিদ্যুৎ খরচ হয়েছে, বাট ইয়েস্টারডে আই স্পেন্ট 50 টাকা, তখন আমার আজকে কেন জানি আমাকে মনে হয় যে আমি আজকে একটু কম কনজিউম করব। তো এই যে এই ধরনের ইয়েগুলো কিন্তু বিহেভিয়ার প্যাটার্ন চেঞ্জ করার মাধ্যমেও কিন্তু আমার এনার্জি ট্রান্সফরমেশনে হেল্প করতে পারে। আরেকটা বিষয় হচ্ছে যে আমাদের এই ডিজিটাল পাবলিক ইনফ্রাস্ট্রাকচারের মূল কথাই কিন্তু হচ্ছে যে ইন্টিগ্রেশন অফ ডেটা, ইন্টারঅপারেবিলিটি অফ ডেটা। তো আমি যেমন যখন আমি এই যে কিছুদিন পরে যখন আমি জমা দিতে যাব, আমার ট্যাক্স রিটার্ন জমা দিতে যাব, কেন আমি কত টাকার বিদ্যুৎ কনজিউম করেছি সেইটা আমি ট্যাক্স রিটার্নে দিব। হোয়াই নট দে উইল গেট ডেটা ফ্রম মাই সাপ্লায়ার্স। সো এই ইন্টিগ্রেশনগুলো দরকার।
ভেরি গুড পয়েন্ট, দিস ইজ আ ভেরি গুড পয়েন্ট।
লাইক আমরা বিদ্যুৎ অনেক সময় ইন্ডাস্ট্রিয়াল কনজাম্পশনের ক্ষেত্রে আমরা কনসার্ন যে সে কি কোনোভাবে টেম্পারিং করেছে কিনা। তো সে একটা ইন্ডাস্ট্রি, প্রোডাকশন ইন্ডাস্ট্রি কত গুডস প্রডিউস করলো সেটার ইনফরমেশন কিন্তু অন্য ডিপার্টমেন্টকে সে দিচ্ছে। তাইলে ওই ডিপার্টমেন্টের সাথে ইন্টিগ্রেশনের মাধ্যমে সে যে পরিমাণ প্রডিউস করলো, সে সরকারকে যে পরিমাণ রেভিনিউ জমা দিল, সে যে পরিমাণ বিদ্যুৎ কনজাম্পশন দেখাচ্ছে ওইটা কি ওটার সাথে ম্যাচ করে কিনা। সো নানানভাবে ইন্টিগ্রেশনের মাধ্যমে উই ক্যান বি বেনিফিটেড ফ্রম।
What's your name, you said?
Yeah, sir, I am Mahfouz. I am deputy
Mahfouz
secretary.
has made 3 very important points. One is that I should have an app by which I can track my use of energy yesterday, today, last year, this day, this month, how much was my consumption, now it's how much consumption, so that people can be incentivized to save energy and live with less energy, better quality of life. Second thing he's saying is that even when we pay taxes, how much I have used energy should be factored into my tax returns. That's a great idea. I'm hearing for the first time this idea, and I can tell you this is a very innovative idea. Tawfiq, this idea needs to be underlined and put with the finance secretary. You should do that. You should tell the finance secretary that, yeah, that there is a need for integrating financial. No, 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 no. With financial, with the tax return, people should also file their energy return as to how much of energy they have consumed. The third point he's making is very important also, that the factories, there are people who do free riding. They take the power from the main line and not pay for them. Unfortunately, this happens in many countries, including in India also it happens. He's saying that you look at the total production that a unit has made. We know how much energy intensity is there in that production. If the energy bill that he's paying is less than what the production is, there is obviously pilferage taking place. And that can be then hauled up. I mean, such people should be hauled up for not providing correct information about their energy use or not. So I think all the 3 points that he has mentioned are brilliant. This app exists already, or it has to.
এখানে আমাদের গ্যাস এবং অন্যান্য বিদ্যুতের মানে সাপ্লাই নিয়ে কাজ করেন এরকম প্রতিষ্ঠানও আছে we can replicate the example of DESCO. Yeah, thank
So
you.
wonderful, very good, Mahfouz, What do you do? What is your
Sir, I'm
background?
Deputy Secretary to the government and now working as a consultant at A2I program.
No. You are also an innovator. Don't say that you are just a bureaucrat. You also have creative ideas and you are an innovator. So in future, when you introduce yourself, I am this, but I'm also an innovator. All right.
So through his idea, he has covered all the core components of DPI.
Correct. Conservation, augmentation, and generation. Very good. Last point, if anybody wants to make, which she has not made. We have not heard from a lady in the audience. I would like to hear from some lady in the audience. Please go ahead. Please go ahead. Because inclusion is incomplete without your voice.
Thank you very much for representing the ladies from this hall room. I am Janata Firdaus from Directorate of National Consumer Rights Department. I am acting as Assistant Director. That is the Department of Commerce Ministry. So I have an idea. I would first like to thank Ms. Aziza about these ideas. Okay, so here is the DPI, Digital Public Infrastructure. So in case of DPI, I think it's can integrated in our public departments also. So she said that we can produce this energy, so the solar panel. So in the public building, we have the huge spaces into the rooftop. So here we can produce the huge energy from solar. The sun is the main energy for our universe. So then we can deposit it into the batteries for deposition, that like grid. Okay, then we convert it into the uses, our public sectors. Here we can customize one single use at least. We are just thinking about the Rohingya camp, we are just thinking about the rural people, but we can think about yourself also in our areas or in our towns. We also can implement it if you grow through the implementation. So this is my idea, we can implement in the next time. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the things. We have 3 product lines. We have soul roofs as well. Soul roofs is for the towns, cities, and then of course the roofs. Because always we are thinking, that is our, our, what should I say? Our myth is that, oh, solar, it means the small and then tiny and then less powerful and the for rural. But now it has changes. World. And another myth is that as Bangladesh doesn't have a lot of land, then maybe we should avoid the solar. We're not talking about agricultural land to implement the solar. We're talking about our roofs. And then whatever the existing resources across the Bangladesh, we want to tap into that, because within the integration, we can make a breeze between the national grid and then them, because I mean it's a flexibility. I have little bit more, then I can share.
Correct.
Whenever I meet, I need little bit more, then I can drag. But I need have the flexibility. It's irrespective of village or cities.
Thank
Exactly. In our household, the IPS is very popular. So we can convert it is the solar systems, the IPS batteries. Then we can use it in the household also. So your ideas is very good. I would like to say thanks again. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. So we have now come to the close. I'll just mention 3 or 4 sentences and then we will close the meeting. But I must say there is so much interest in this subject in the audience and in the participant. That is very encouraging. It is also very clear that the agenda before A2I and ICT Ministry is very rich and they have to do a lot. I will suggest 3 or 4 things that we could do in future. Please, kindly, friend, for just 1 minute more for your patience. We need to realize that a lot of people, common people, can only understand in Bangla, or for that matter, whatever other local language they may have, in the dialect they may have. So, multimedia, multi-language databases on innovations of energy and other sectors is a basic requirement for removing asymmetry, because people want to learn in their own mother tongue. They want to learn even if they are illiterate, and they don't want to learn only from local innovation. They want to learn from global innovation. They want to know what's happening in Colombia, what is happening uh, in Africa, South Africa, wherever else. So that is one suggestion. The second thing I would request is that apart from equity and grant, we also need to give risk capital for small innovations. For example, equity you have at the moment about 5 crore, but I would say even 10 lakh, 5 lakh, 50 lakh, less smaller amount of equity contribution to small enterprises must be encouraged. More and more startups will need to have early stage investment. Early stage, no venture capitalist does it. So public investment is fundamentally required. We set up a micro venture innovation fund where we invested even less than that, even 1 lakh rupees we invested as a soft loan. If you make money, pay it back, otherwise we'll write it off. So it was not a grant, it was a loan, but risk capital, risk loan. That means it is not, we were not sure that he will be able to pay back, because for innovation, market has to be created. Microfinance is for goods and services for which market exists. Micro venture finance is for goods and services for which market does not yet exist. So please appreciate that innovations are goods and services for which market has not yet been created. That's the they are innovative. Second point. Third point I would say is that it's very important that some of the things that you mentioned about behavioral change, they need to be brought into our education system. Our children, our school children, they should also be aware of this concept. And I was thinking that, for example, Dhaka University has 40,000 students. If all these students of universities become scout of A2I for finding out innovations, then Bangladesh Innovation Foundation will be a distributed network-based foundation. Beautiful. So I wish you all the best, and thank you for all the participants here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for everything. Dear participants and honorable guests, the lunch has been served outside, so please be our guest and have lunch together. And we are extremely sorry for the delay. Tomorrow, you know, you have the same another